Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us. And once again, welcome back. We just talked about the Dragonfly full MRI body scan. So this morning, we've got some guests joining us to talk more about it. We have Joe Beverly, our Dragonfly scan patient. You heard his personal story, and Faith and Robert Shields. These are the owners of this technology and this company that's really expanding all over. So thank you all for being here.
Yes,
Thank you.
thanks for
Nice
having
to
us.
see
Yes,
you.
yes.
We really enjoyed sharing stories and talking through all of this. And Joe, in the story that we just watched, you talked about the months of the fatigue and the frustration that you were feeling. And so your wife came across an Instagram post about this scan.
Instagram post and just said, let's try this. Let's go. She did a whole bunch of research into Dragonfly and scheduled the appointment, and here we are.
And it's not something that you had necessarily thought about, just saying, let's have an MRI, look at my whole system.
No, I was more or less going from doctor to doctor,
Yeah.
trying to see what was going on.
Okay, one thing that we didn't manage to get into the story was the story about your father and how he played into this. So you ended up having, and you have, this pretty rare blood disease, correct?
Correct, yes.
And so it's adding too much iron to your blood, and so you just know that you have to turn that around. You give blood every single week.
I do right now.
And are
yes.
you also on treatments?
No, the only treatment right now is the phlebotomy. Weekly
Okay,
phlebotomy.
so you're just giving blood, and when you look at your symptoms, you say you're thinking maybe this could have helped your dad.
Yes, when I sat back and reflected and looked back at my symptoms, they kind of synced up with what he had going on. And if he would have had this opportunity, I think it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah, because it wasn't a good quality of life, I mean,
No.
that you just experienced.
Yeah, and it was a slow decline for him as well, so
Okay.
it could have changed a lot of things.
Okay, so Robert and Faith, it's difficult when you see a story like this to think, well, what are the cons to all of this? And we did mention that major medical groups say that there's this risk of false positives and anxiety. How do you address that criticism?
Well, I mean, I think that, you have to know what's going on inside of you. I think that that's shifting. We get a lot of referrals from doctors. We're seeing a lot of physicians, referring people to us. You just have to know what's going on. You can't just operate out of fear and say, I'm not going to get it done because what if there's a false positive? There's just been so many people that we've helped change their quality of life, give them more time. I think that, but there's a huge shift.
Yep.
in
And you've said that you think that this is where medicine is headed. We talked about the cost because this is not covered by insurance, so from $1,000 up to about $2,500 based on exactly what areas you're getting scanned. And Faith, for somebody who's interested in this, maybe they're on the fence, walk us through what the process is. I went through the process. It was very, very quick, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
You're
it's
going to get
super-
into the machine.
Yeah, so it's super simple. You'll we'll get your intake form. You'll do a pre-consultation phone call with our medical providers. You'll come in for your scan. You're in the machine for 45 to 25 minutes, depending on what scan you choose. After that, your results are guaranteed within 5 days. We typically turn them around in 72 hours. And that's it. You get another phone call to have a in-depth post-consultation phone call with the medical provider to go over your results. So yeah, it's a super easy process, and I feel like if you're
you
in
get
the
to watch TV.
yeah, you can watch TV.
I did
or
watch a
Netflix.
show.
That's
I
true.
watched Netflix. That was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so if you're worried about being in there for an extended period of time, it's actually a great time to unwind and take a little nap.
Okay, and we're going to show the video of me getting in there as well. What I found interesting about this, and the good news is that nothing major was found. They didn't see any big tumors or anything problematic happening, is that this really plays into my love for preventative medicine, because when I had that follow-up call and I looked through those results, what I was hearing was, here's what we're seeing in your spine. As you get older, this is something we see in a lot of people. Think about spine health. Think about keeping your core really strong so that you don't end up with degenerative disc disease. Just some of the little things like that. So some of it is for that as well, not just looking for massive problems, but thinking about how to age and
There's a
keeping
ton
your
of
health
benefits.
span.
Yes,
Ton of
definitely. Yeah,
benefits.
we're going to look at brain health, so early onset dementia, white matter on the brain, and with those results and what we find, you can have a different quality of life by preparing and eating better or taking supplements, and rather than a faster decline. So, the information that the MRI is going to give you is, knowledge is power. And so I feel like everybody should come in for a scan.
Okay, and you all are doing this huge expansion.
Yes. Yep. we're
Many
super
more
excited.
states,
Yes.
and we're going to see you a lot more in Houston.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah, we have a new location under construction here.
Yep. We're going to be opening up right here on
Yeah,
59
we'll be
in
in.
Kirby, so we're super excited about that. We're going to be opening Katy as well, and we're coming to Oklahoma. We're going to be opening Atlanta and Florida and New York very soon. So
It's
yeah.
booming.
Yep, yep.
It's booming.
Yes, it is.
Okay, Faith, Robert, Joe, thank you all for coming in and
Yes,
sharing
thank
your
you so
stories.
much.
Cheetah, it's called Dragonfly because the Dragonfly sees like 360 degrees. It has this incredible vision.
Yes.
Much like your weather
Oh,
radar.
stop it. Oh, yeah.